Subscribe to this channel if you're new to this channel. Thumbs this video up if you enjoyed this video. Dillian Whyte says he's going to KO Anthony Joshua if they fight again. He's going to KO him. Right? Now, Dillian Whyte very well can KO Anthony Joshua. I think Dillian Whyte can KO any heavyweight. Because I think Dillian Whyte is an underrated puncher. You know, I've talked some crap about Dillian Whyte in the past. You know, any of my longtime subscribers would remember that I used to talk crap about Dillian Whyte. But I like what he's been doing, especially last year. Last year he was really busy, Dillian Whyte. Very busy. He fought, I think, 3 times. He fought, of course, I think he started off the year, with Lucas Brown. Put him into a coma. And all 3 of these fights were all entertaining fights. Right? He fought Lucas Brown. Put him into a coma. He fought Joseph Parker. Dropped him a few times. Very exciting fight. And then he laid out Derek Chisora. So for this, I like what he's been doing. I like that he's been putting in the work. Right? Can he knock out Anthony Joshua? Of course he can. He was able to hurt Anthony Joshua, to buzz him, right, in the first fight. But the thing is, Anthony Joshua can also knock him out, right? Because Anthony Joshua did knock him out with an uppercut. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it an uppercut? Yeah, he hit him with like some type of uppercut that ended him. I want to see this fight just because I think Dillian Whyte deserves it, all right? As a fighter, I think he deserves it. As a contender, I think he deserves it. He's fought a former world champion and he beat him and he dropped him several times. Right? He's been very busy as a fighter. He's been doing more than someone like Jarrell Miller has. You know, last year Jarrell Miller fought 2 bums or 2 over-the-hill fighters. He fought that Bendengo guy that I never even heard of. I didn't even make a post-fight video about it because I never heard of him. He also fought Thomas Adamick, who was like 49 years old, which I was disgusted by. So last year was just a shit year for like Jarrell Miller. But Dillian Whyte, on the other hand, he was actually fighting guys that were way better than the guys that Jarrell Miller fought. So at least he, in my opinion, deserves a shot over someone like Jarrell Miller. Right? I want to see him in there against Anthony Joshua. All right, especially since this fight with Wilder's not going to take place. All right, I think it's an entertaining fight. I think somebody's getting knocked out in that fight. I think the guy who's going to lose, I'll tell you straight up, is Dillian Whyte. I think Dillian Whyte will lose because I think Anthony Joshua is a better fighter and I think he has his number. Okay, so personally, I think he's going to lose via knockout again. But I still think he deserves a title shot, a title opportunity. All right. And if he is able to, because Dillian Whyte is good with sharpshooting right hands down the pipe. Straight right hands. He's also good with left hooks. I think he has to knock out Anthony Joshua to beat him. All right. That's what I personally think. And I think he has to go to his body. I think he has to set him up. But it's no easy task against Anthony Joshua. But can he knock out Anthony Joshua? Yes. Just like Anthony Joshua can knock him out. But that's just an intriguing fight for me. Just like I said, it's a thing for me where I want to see him defend his belts against Dillian Whyte just because I think Dillian Whyte deserved it. And because, like I said, he's a trash talker. At least Dillian Whyte will have a chance to win. Dillian Whyte is like 30 years old and he's still not fought for a world championship belt. He needs to be fighting right now. This is the best time to face for a world title. You know, unfortunately for him, though, it's going to be against Anthony Joshua, which I just think it's a difficult task for him. But if he manages to land on Anthony Joshua, he could definitely hurt him. So that's what it is. He has to be able to land on him. And Anthony Joshua is not the fastest on his feet, so maybe he will be able to land on him, just like he was able to land on him in the first fight. So let's see what happens. I want to see that fight, and I want to see if, you know, Dillian Whyte says that he can KO. Every time he fights someone, he says he's going to knock them out. I made a video saying he wouldn't be able to knock out Joseph Parker, if you guys remembered, and he didn't do it because I knew that stylistically, Dillian Whyte has issues with movers. But when it comes to Anthony Joshua, he doesn't fight like Dillian Whyte. I mean, he doesn't fight like Joseph Parker. He's gonna be way more in the pocket. He's way more aggressive. And I actually am curious to see how Dillian Whyte fights the rematch, because in the first fight, Dillian Whyte was on the back foot. Like, if you guys remember, Anthony Joshua came forward in that fight. As soon as the bell rang, he just came forward very aggressively, and Dillian Whyte was on the back foot. So I want to see if he fights that way again, because normally Dillian Whyte is an aggressive fighter. Normally he's as a guy who stands his ground, and he's willing to trade and exchange with his opponents. But against Anthony Joshua, I remember like he went on the back foot in that fight. He wasn't like being as aggressive as he is these days. I think he needs to be aggressive against Anthony Joshua. Anyway, guys, stuff to say. Subscribe for latest in boxing, and I'm out.